Hey there, it's Monkey. Update 33 Heart Attack is out for State of Decay 2, and in this video we're going to cover some tips for rolling characters. We're going to do this in two sections. First, we'll cover some of the basics, namely health, stamina, and 5th skill tips, and then we're going to build on those basics by adding in traits and some out-of-game resources. Okay? So let's get started. Alright, we've pulled up our first survivor. We've got health and stamina up at the top, traits and leader type in the middle, and skills down below. Base health and stamina are 100. If we see one of these below 100, there's a trait that's bringing it down. If we see one above 100, there's either a trait or the survivor has stars in fighting or cardio. Fighting gives 4 health per star and cardio gives 3 stamina. This is important to keep in mind because stats greater than 100 are desired and less than 100 are to be avoided. But if it's only positive on account of a skill being pre-leveled, then we're not really gaining anything above normal. We're going to look at some examples right now. So our first survivor we have here has a 120 health and 100 stamina. 120 health is above normal, but if we look down at fighting, we see he's got 5 stars in fighting, which is plus 20 health. So there's no additional bonus to health baked into the traits. So it's just going to be, an average person. We're not going to look at the traits just yet, but we're going to leave that guy there, and we're going to roll the next character. This person has 104 health and 103 stamina, and that's a pretty good giveaway that those points are coming from stars down below, and we can see it does match up with that as well. This last survivor has 104 health and 126 stamina. We can see that the health and 6 of the stamina are coming from fighting and cardio, but one of the traits is giving a plus 20 to stamina. So yeah, usually you can see the specific trait modifier to health or stamina by drilling down into the traits, but what we're doing in this first section is sort of a shorthand wherein you just sort of eyeball health and stamina being over 100, account for any bonuses from fighting and cardio, and move on. Okay. 5th skills. They're called that because every normal survivor has the same 4 core skills, and then the last skill, the 5th skill, is either random, by trait, or empty. For 5th skills, we primarily want chemistry and cooking, but here's the big tip. It's extremely easy to get both of those near the starting base on almost every map except Trumbull Valley. For Update 33 in particular, we're already going to want the ammo outpost to help supply ammo for our traps. That's where we can learn chemistry, which also eliminates the fuel costs for traps. I did a separate video about traps and the importance of chemistry. It'll be up above for later. Similarly, we can learn cooking at an espresso stand, but if you don't want that stand or you don't want to bear the cost, then make sure you roll cooking on a survivor. The reason why we're looking at both cooking and chemistry is because together they allow us to craft energy drinks in a kitchen with water. Energy drinks can make the difference in being able to tackle a heart, particularly in the early game. Now, if you only have room for cooking or chemistry in your plan to begin with, chemistry is hands down more important. I would say it's the most important 5th skill for starting out in Update 33. Like I said, you can get it on almost every map right near your base, and even with 30 hearts on the map, there's a good chance it won't be in a cloud of ass. Other good starting 5th skills, which are of the quirk variety, are like Hygiene, gives you community infection resistance and community bonus health. Lichenology gives you gardening, herbalism, and plus 2 meds a day. Recycling gives you plus 2 mats and plus 25 parts a day. You can see where I'm kind of going with this. Starting out, you're short on everything, and these types of skills help offset that a little bit. And while Hygiene doesn't outright give you resources, it can save you resources by making your community tougher overall, and it's a bonus that will be meaningful the entire playthrough. One other note before we move on to the next section: when rolling survivors, you can go back up to 2 characters. So in these characters I rolled, I rolled forwards and back a little bit. Maybe with Jenny, for example, I decide, I don't want Latifah. So we can go to the next person. We'll get Natsumi. And then if we go back, Latifah's gone. We only got Fetty and Jenny and Natsumi. You get the point, right? If I pick another person again, now Fetty's gone, right? That's how that works. You always have up to 3 characters you can choose from at a time per slot, and you can just roll forever if you want. You can roll through the night and the day. You do eat up the clock a little bit when you're doing it, but that's okay. That covers the basics. If you're playing on anything Dread or under, unless you're struggling, that should start you off on solid footing. If, however, you're struggling a little, or you want to roll a couple ringers, or you're playing on Nightmare or Lethal, you probably want to take a closer look at traits. Traits, as mentioned before, can impact health and stamina. They can provide the 5th skill. They can also give you other bonuses or penalties like an extra bed or plague resistance, and they can determine the hero bonus. Now, some of this will be obvious, and some of this, like the hero bonus, won't. Let's look at a couple examples here. If we go to somebody like Gabe's got Stress Eater, 100% food consumed per day. That's a big negative. Particularly bad on Nightmare or Lethal. And then we'll go one more forward on here. Okay, this character, looking at, we can already see they've got a plus 15 stamina from cardio, but they have another 20 stamina on top of that to give them 135. Going into their traits, we can see that not only does takes power naps give them a plus 20 to stamina, but it also gives them -1 beds used, which is actually another good bonus. It's kind of, since not having enough beds gives you a morale penalty, this -1 beds used, you can sort of figure it as sort of a morale bonus, but only to offset, beds. We can also see that this Hong Kong cinema fan is probably why she has movie trivia. +6 morale, 50% XP rate, and pop culture knowledge. The last thing we don't really know about. For the traits that we can't see an obvious effect for, like pop culture knowledge, and for specific hero bonuses, or rather to figure out what hero bonuses this person might be able to get based off of their traits, we're going to refer to the wiki to help us out. The link to that is down in the description, and I'm going to pull in my browser that I already have set up for this. This is the traits page for the wiki, and it's got the name of the trait, the description, the positive effect, the negative effect, the skills it provides, if any, and the hero bonus it provides, if any. So let's look up a couple of these things. We're just going to do like a Control F. So Neighborhood Watch, no positive effects, no negative effects. The hero bonus is notices things. That's a 25% standings reward. Okay. Picnicker provides cooking, and the hero bonus is outdoor living. That's +2 beds. Not a bad hero bonus. The last one is Heavy Hitter. The experience rate and personal strength. Now, here's the thing. All 3 hero bonuses on Edwin are different. We don't know until we level him up enough in the community to reveal the hero trait, which one of these it's going to be. It's not obvious on the face of it. Now, it could have been possible that he had 2 traits that were pointing to the same hero bonus, and he didn't have a 3rd trait, and that would then guarantee you that hero bonus. But in this case, it's sort of potluck. Now, if you don't really care what the hero bonus is right now, and you're really focused on their initial traits, it's not such a big deal. But if you're into min-maxing and you want to figure out, what to look for, you're going to want to leverage the wiki a bit like this. Additionally, on the min-maxing sort of note, there's another link that's down below that you can check out. It's for a Reddit page that is a little dated but still holds up pretty well on rolling characters. This page has tables full of the traits that are specific to certain things. So, for example, if you're looking for a trait that gives infection resistance, then you can refer to a page like this one that has all of the traits or most of the traits. It's not my page, by the way. Full credit goes to the Redditor who posted this, just like the credit for the wiki goes to the wiki person. But this person also provides a Google Doc that you can grab. And it does a pretty good job of at least giving you a template to start from in terms of what's important, like blood plague survivor. That person is immune to blood plague. Finding that on a survivor is clutch, man. It's a good roll to get. So let's pop back to the traits page, and now we're going to talk about hero bonuses. Let's say, for example, you want, rather than looking at these guys' traits and kind of going, well, what does this provide? What does this provide? You know, etc. What if you wanted to say, I want a trait that affects food? Okay. The first one that comes up, there's about 10 of them here. The first one that comes up is meal plan. And that's actually a really good hero bonus to get, because the minus 25% food consumed overall is for your entire community. So if you have 8 people on standard, that's going to be a decrease of 2 food per day. On lethal, that's going to be a decrease of 4 food per day, because lethal people eat twice as much food. So this percent bonus scales pretty well with difficulty. So knowing that meal plan gives this sweet bonus, we can go back to traits over here and say, okay, well, what traits provide meal plan? And then we'll find that there are 16 different traits that will point us to meal plan as a potential hero bonus. Again, if the person has multiple traits, unless they're all pointing at meal plan, you're going to have a chance of not getting the hero bonus that you want anyway. This gives us some ability to target it or to know what to look for when we're rolling characters, but it's not completely foolproof unless, again, you can find somebody that only has like 1 trait or has 2 traits both pointing to the same one. That's going to cover it for the webpage side of things. The wiki does have a lot of other info for the game, what outposts give you, what bases look like, locations, etc. It's a really great resource. Now, the only part of the survivor I didn't talk about is leader type, but that relates more to the storyline on a map, some base features, and it's really something you can sort of manage after you get your base established. I don't prioritize leader type when I'm rolling a new community. And speaking of, that wraps up the tips, but I'm going to spend a minute or two and finish rolling my community in case you're interested in that. I do appreciate your time, and I hope this helps. If it has, please help me by giving it a thumbs up. Touch the monkey in the corner and subscribe, and let's finish rolling some survivors. Okay, so I've rolled through some characters. These are, I would not say the best of the best, but it's going to give me a decent start for my community. So I've got sewing, which, as I said before, gives +1 to item stack size, +10 to max health, so everybody gets +10 health in your community, and it gives you knowledge of craftsmanship, which will be good for upgrading the materials outpost, which provides a bungload of materials to be able to upgrade things in my base. And then I've got this recycling guy who also provides mats. So my goal here is to be swimming in mats for a bit to get my base built up and not have to worry about materials. And I've got chemistry, which is going to remove the fuel cost on the traps for my outposts. So that's huge too. That does mean I do need to find somebody with cooking. That'll be my 4th or 5th survivor. I'll be looking for them to have an empty skill so I can basically train it, or to come with cooking. That would be cool as well. Other than that, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you want to watch me play through with this community, that'll be coming up in the future, so please help me out. Again, touch that monkey down in the corner and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks so much. Take care.